If this wasn't the most stressed out for a basketball game I've been in a while, I think I would be lying to myself because this is definitely the most stressed out I've been for a basketball game in a long time. Probably since maybe the 2019 series between the Sixers and the Raptors. I don't think I've been this stressed out. I thought if the Golden State Warriors lost this game, that the dynasty was over. Even less stressed out than last year's finals. I wasn't even really worried in any situation, even when they were down. When they were down 2-1, wasn't really worried. But this I was definitely worried for. I thought if the Golden State Warriors lost this game, that the dynasty was going to be over. Draymond was going to be out of there. There was no chance that this team was going to regroup, and they'd be going out of it, just ending it. This would be it. They'd be put away by the Sacramento Kings. Of all teams, the Sacramento Kings, the team that hasn't been in the playoffs for the past 16 years, they were going to get put out by them. Luckily, that did not happen, and the Sacramento Kings didn't know how to shoot a basketball today. I think story of this game definitely was the shooting for the Kings. Even though, we can credit that to the Warriors' defense, yes, but to me, it didn't look any that much different than the past two games in Sacramento. It was just shots were falling in Sacramento for the Kings, and they were not falling in Chase Center. They were 11 of 47 from three, and 35 of 92 from the field, being 38% from the field. They had awful shooting nights from De'Aaron Fox, in my opinion. Keegan Murray couldn't hit anything. He went 2 for 7 from the field. Those two shots were at the end of the game. He ended up with 6 points. De'Aaron Fox was 9 of 22, 3 for 9 from 3 in 38 minutes that he played. Sabonis had a pretty all-right game. He was 7 for 14, but he only scored 15 points. The bench was off. Trey Lyles was 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, and ended up with 2 points. It was just a really bad game. Malik Monk was 1 for 9 from the field and 0 for 4 from 3. He had 4 points. He was averaging 25 for the series, and he had 4 points this game. The Kings only managed to score 97 points, which is not like the Kings at all. They obviously had the best offense in the history of basketball this year, and they scored 97 points. Yeah, to me, that's the story. The Kings they couldn't shoot. They couldn't hit a jump shot to save their life. And quite frankly, neither could the Warriors for a little bit. The Warriors couldn't hit a jump shot either. They were really, really, really struggling. They shot 20 three-pointers in the first quarter. 20 three-pointers. Now, they only ended up putting 50 for the game. And 50 is still a lot, but they only shot 32% from three. They ended up putting up 100 shots and shooting 40% from the field. This is ridiculous. Steph had a really good game. He did. I'm going to give him that. Steph Curry had a really, really good game and definitely put this team on his back, along with Kevon Looney, which we'll get into, even though he only ended up with 4 points. But Steph went 12 of 25 from the field, had 36 points, was at plus 24 from the field, had a really, really good game, 6 for 12 from 3. Good game from Steph. Everyone else around him, I'm going to say outside of Moses Moody off the bench had a good game. Andrew Wiggins and Kevon Looney, the Warriors didn't really have a good game. Jordan Poole was 4 for 13 from the field. Klay Thompson was 5 of 15, 3 for 10 from 3. Jonathan Kuminga was 3 for 7 with 6 points. But Moses Moody, he did have a good game in the 16 minutes that he played. He shot 4 for 7, 2 for 5 from 3, ended up with 13 points. Good seeing him play with, of course, Draymond being suspended and him not playing. We had some players play that don't usually get rotation minutes, along with Lamb, who got some minutes. He got 7 minutes here. He played some good defense from the time that he was on the floor. He didn't score, but played some good defense. And let's get into our two role player stars for this game, Kevon Looney and Andrew Wiggins, if you want to call them role players. Andrew Wiggins, 8 for 16 from the field, had 20 points. Really good game from him, 3 for 6 from 3, and was playing great defense, along with Kevon Looney. I'm going to say the reason they won this game, only with 4 points, but if you check, he had 20 rebounds and 9 assists. He was basically playing Draymond's role and his role at the same time in this game, with Draymond being out. He elevated for the lack of Draymond Green not being able to play in this game because he was suspended. He had 20 rebounds, like I said, 9 of those being offensive rebounds, 9 assists. I think that was his career playoff high for 9 assists, and 20 rebounds was close to his career playoff high. He had 23 rebounds last year against Memphis, but really good game from Kevon Looney. He was definitely the reason, along with Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, that the Warriors were able to win this game without Draymond Green, which I thought they would honestly lose, knowing that the Kings were playing so well. I thought that the Warriors would struggle without him, but they ended up playing a really, really good game. And that's all I really have to say about this Golden State and Kings game. Obviously, we're going into Game 4. Draymond's going to be back. Something that the Warriors might want to look into is doing the small ball lineup that was really, really working for them. They were able to keep up with the pace of the Kings, and we know now that the Kings have gotten a road game under their belt, they'll definitely come out better than they did in this Game 3. So Steve Kerr will definitely have to look into that small ball lineup and see if that's something that he wants to go to. Other than that, we had 2 other games last night that we'll talk about briefly because I don't really have that much to say about these games. We'll start with the Sixers and the Nets playing. Joel Embiid and Nick Claxton got caught for double technicals in the first quarter, really early in the first quarter. Nick Claxton, after scoring on an and one, stepped over Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid proceeded to kick him. Now, whether that was worthy of a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2, that is up to you guys. I personally think it was a flagrant 2. Even as a Sixers fan, I'm going to be unbiased here. I think kicking him, especially when he's trying... Yes, he was trying to step over him, but kicking him and endangering his health was a little bit out of the line. I think that should have been a flagrant 2, and I think he should have been ejected. The James Harden situation, I did not think that even deserved the flagrant. I think that should have been ruled a common offensive foul. We've seen James Harden stick his left hand out when he goes to drive a lot. Like, there's plenty of footage of him doing that over his entire career. Just because he got a little close to the private parts, don't think that was worthy of an ejection whatsoever. So James Harden would ultimately get ejected. He did not play the entire fourth quarter, and the Sixers did end up pulling away with this win. They had a pretty good game overall. They shot 48% from the field and 41% from 3, carrying over that three-point shooting from the first 2 games, and that propelled them to this 102-97 win. On the Brooklyn side, good series. Good luck next year. Hopefully you guys can pull in another star. As for the Phoenix and Clippers game, I don't really have that much to say because I didn't actually get a chance to watch this game except for the final few minutes, which was a lot closer than I thought it was. And then I took a look at the box score and realized that Norman Powell ended the game with 42 points. What in the world? Obviously, the Clippers were without Kawhi Leonard, who was out with a sprained knee, I believe. So he did not play this game. But the Clippers were able to pull within 5 of winning this game. The score was 129 to 124. Phoenix Suns win barely. And Norman Powell, like I said, had 42 points. I really can't get that over my head. If anyone was to have 42 points on this Clippers team, I would have expected it to be Russell Westbrook. He did have 30 points, had a pretty good game, 11 to 23 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3. A really good game from Russ, 12 assists. Norman Powell was 15 to 23 from the field, 7 for 12 from 3, which is lighting it up from 3. And the Clippers just had a really good game. You got Bones Hyland, who had 20 points off the bench, Terrence Mann, who had 10 points off the bench. Of course, that 30 and 42 from Powell and Westbrook, but they were not able to pull away with this win as Devin Booker had 45 points on the game, 18 to 29 from the field. Kevin Durant had 28 points, made all of his free throws, really efficient, 8 for 15 from the field. Good game from them. They were just not able to keep up with these Suns starters, as Kevin Durant, like I said, had 28. Torrey Craig had 15. Ayton had 12. Chris Paul had 11. And Booker had 45. That's a lot to handle, especially without Kawhi Leonard. Looking forward in this series, if Kawhi plays Game 4, I could see the Clippers winning that. This is one that I thought could go 6 or 7. Without Kawhi, I do not think it's going 6 or 7. It'll probably end in 5. But if Kawhi comes back, this could be a long series. We'll see if Kawhi comes back for Game 4. If he does, I'll predict a Clippers win. If not, Suns in 5, guys.